All right. The big one of the afternoon in Arlington, Texas, Jerry World, Arkansas pulls off the upset against Texas A&M, 20-10. Um, this was a fun game. Arkansas, they're good.
They they are good. They throttled the state of Texas. So we'll just say that. They were up 17-0 right off the bat and just kind of held on to that lead kind of all the way through. The defense flies around for Arkansas and are physical. They fly around and they are physical as well as in offense. It's kind of running. They're run first. They really are. It's a run first kind of just a grinding style. But then they have the ability. They have a really good receiver there, and Traylon Burks had a really big first half. They kind of bottled up in the second half, but a massive first half. Obviously, really talented. KJ Jefferson had a good day. He was efficient. The offense move. He did go down with an injury, and we don't know many specifics about that yet. But hopefully, we will in time for next week's preview pod. But hey, that's another big win gone. I think a lot of people were sour on Arkansas coming into this year simply because of schedule alone. My goodness, they played so many good teams, but they're ticking off the boxes now. Like they've beat some really good teams, and they have some more coming up. They still have to. They go to Georgia next week, which I will obviously be all eyes on. But you have to be a little concerned. You have to be a little concerned about this team because they are really, really good, and they have something that travels, and that's a run game and a fast physical defense. And you can't argue with their coaching. The OC and the DC are both really, really good. Give Sam Pittman all the credit in the world. I know he's getting that. He probably deserves a little bit more because of where they are now. They're a top 10 football team. Arkansas is going to be a top 10 football team. And if someone would have told me that 2 years ago, you would have laughed them right out of the room. Arkansas is better than Clemson, and that is shocking to say.
Yeah, I was super impressed by them, and they just look good everywhere. Their offensive line was getting pushed against Texas A&M. Like, what in the world? Like, they just looked really and we've talked about it before, but you just really cannot overstate the impressive hires that Sam Pittman made. His coordinators, Kendall Briles, creative. It seems like he knows the limits of what his team can and can't do, and just kind of like and gives them what they can do, and they execute it well. Like they just do it really well. And on the other side, Barry Odom, man, this guy, they're gonna have to pony up to keep this guy around because man, every major program that has a defensive coordinator need is going to be coming at Barry Odom this next offseason because this guy is good. Like he maybe was not a great head coach. That's a really tough job at Mizzou. I don't know, but he has a job as a defensive coordinator for as long as he wants it because this guy, he was man. His defenses they're fast. They fly to the ball. I think the broadcast said the way they talk about that is they say race to the ball, which I thought was kind of a cool little phrase. But yeah, this Arkansas team, not there's not enough talent there to like contend for anything major. Like they're not as good as Alabama, but this is a fun team. Don't get it twisted. Like this is a good, fun team, and on the right day, they might reach up and grab somebody. So I'm really excited to watch them next week. Obviously, A&M on the other hand, Zach Calzada is a puzzling. He's a puzzling watch. There's some talent there. When he has time to throw, steps into his throw. He threw a few dimes on ropes. And then the rest of the time it's just like bad decision making and you're not sure what you're watching. Is that just me that had those thoughts, the hot and cold quarterback? Or what do you think of Zach Calzada and the rest of this offense really?
Well, puzzling is a great word for it because there's guys there, like they have dudes there, and Calzada, like you said, makes unbelievable, just kind of like jaw dropping throws. Like this kid's really really good. I would almost lean towards the lack of coaching there. Even kind of some of the play calling. Spiller, the running back for them, he had 95 yards on only 12 carries. He had a long touchdown run that accounted for most of it, but he's a really good running back. A Shane, their backup running back, is super talented, really quick. I know they used him a lot in some run and even some pass plays, but maybe run the ball more. Like kind of take the ball out of Calzada's hands and try to pound the rock a little bit more instead of yeah, instead of throwing the ball, they threw it almost 40 times. So that's probably where I would go with it because Texas A&M is supremely talented, especially on the defensive side. They're really really good. They've got a lot of players on the offense and kind of offensive skill positions. Disappointing to see him drop this game in a game that really was. They kind of got punched in the mouth right away and never really made it that close again. It was they were never within one possession after that, and that's we expected more. Texas A&M, especially in this year, Texas A&M was supposed to be a threat for a possible playoff berth, and they're gonna have to go up against Alabama here in a bit, and just don't see them. I mean, matching up well at all. I really don't. So hey, it's a crazy year, like we said. Crazy things can happen, but no, not impressed with Texas A&M, and I think I would blame a lot of it on the coaching and the play calling.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I feel like they've kind of flown under the radar as far as just like what they lost in the offensive line. It's been well documented this year. Notre Dame, Clemson, these teams, these high profile teams, North Carolina even, that have not had good offensive line play. A&M also lost four starters last year from last year's offensive line. And like the pass blocking, it was just not great. It seemed like Calzada very few times did he look comfortable at all. And credit obviously to Arkansas's defensive line, but I do wonder if maybe a lot of that has to do with A&M's offensive line, and maybe that's part of the reason they threw it so often is just because they didn't trust their offensive line to get pushing the running game. I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure how to feel about that. But yeah, A&M, you have to wonder like, are they going to be 10-2 forever under Jimbo Fisher? Possibly. um, yeah. What are your? Do you have any more thoughts in this game?
Just I mean, currently I see three, maybe four teams better than them in the West right now, and that was the team ranked number 7 coming in today. So hopefully it gets better. Hopefully Haynes King comes back and the offense looks more efficient. But right now it's a struggle. The game against Colorado does not look like a fluke. They're just struggling to put up points, and that's an issue in the SEC West.
Yeah, they still have to play Alabama, Ole Miss, and LSU and Auburn. Yeah, definitely. This could get pretty ugly if they don't figure out the offense soon.